Hello, it's Sunday morning and we have to go and collect our click and collect from Sainsbury's in an hour. So I have 1 hour in which I'm going to make the carrot cake. Now this is the diabetic recipe I promised you, and I need to tell you a couple of things about it. The first is there's loads of ingredients, so do prepare them all first. I've got them all weighed out like a good girl. The second thing is you need, if you're making it as a diabetic, raw unprocessed honey, which I was unable to get. I'm kind of assuming that if you're diabetic, you may have raw unprocessed honey in your cupboard. The nearest local person I could find online, in bed last night, was in Collingtree, and they've got none till May. They've sold out till May, and the bees will next have some ready. Raw unprocessed honey, for those of you as ignorant as me, is just honey that has been taken from the hive and strained to remove any bits of wax and left, jarred up and left. Anything we buy, which is what I'm going to use today because it's all I can use, has had stuff added to it. It's been pasteurized and all sorts, been faffed about with, which is no good. Apparently it's bad for you, and it's also very sticky. So I'm not using raw unprocessed, but you can use it and you should use it. And as I say, I hope you've got it, but maybe you don't make this recipe until you have got it, or else you make it like me and you eat a tiny little bit of it. Okay, so I'm going to swap cameras and make a start. So here's my bowl on my mat, so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to rinse my fingers because I'm so sticky. I didn't wash that honey jar very well at all last time I used it. Clearly, what a bad girl. So you preheat the oven to 180 before you start. And as I say, you will have had, I sincerely hope you will have prepared everything. I've also lined 2 tins. Now, I've used round tins because it says 2 brownie tins. Well, I don't have 2 oblongy tins that are the same size. So I've had to use 2 circular tins, and I've lined them. I have bought, because I'm desperately lazy, you must have realised this by now, I have bought cake liners from Lakeland, which are not ideal for this. So if I snip them so that they overlap and they fit really nicely, I snip them in 4 places and they're wondrous. So that's good. I don't have to faff about with butter and all of that. So we've preheated the oven. We're going to mix the flour. You're going to be very impressed with this. Then mix the flour with the ground almonds and the raisins, which in my kitchen cupboard are sultanas. Because I didn't have any raisins, so I had to get raisins out, and there they were not. We've got sultanas, which I think is equally. In fact, I thought carrot cake was normally made with sultanas, which just goes to show how little I know. This one is made with raisins. Okay. So you mix those together till they're really well mixed, and you add the nutmeg, the bicarbonate of soda, and the cinnamon as well. So get those all mixed up. My nutmeg, just to show off, was grated nutmegs. I have whole nutmegs which I grate, and it smells fabulous. I was talking to Claire the other day, yesterday in fact, and she told me that this place, which I have mentioned on the embankment, this place where you take your own little pots and put things in them, sell all sorts of herbs and spices. So instead of buying this huge jar full and then using a pinch once every 3 years and throwing it all away when it's 5 years old, because you get such a shock, don't you? Go to your cupboard to get out the cinnamon and think, oh, I haven't used this for a while. And when you look at the date, you think, oh, maybe I'll just put that in the bin. So to save that, I think this is a really good idea. You can go and buy just a little bit. I don't suppose you can buy a pinch, but you can buy, a tablespoonful, I guess. I don't know, but you can buy a small amount, which is a good thing. So made well in the center, and you're going to pour in the milk, the vanilla extract, and the melted butter. Now, the butter I have melted already. If you haven't, go and melt your butter for 1 minute in your microwave with a lid on, or in a saucepan if you don't want to use microwave, but why wouldn't you? Anyway, so that's what you're going to do. So we're going to pour in butter, which is over here. My melted butter. There's a little tiny bit that isn't melted. well in the centre. I'm pouring in the butter, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I've got something to tell you about vanilla afterwards. 2 teaspoons of vanilla, which is, I think, all I've got. 1, 2 teaspoons. Oh, that's virtually it. And more milk. Now, I've used the milk I have here rather than whole milk, which is skimmed, but that's all we've got. So when I come to do the lemon pudding, I have actually defrosted some whole milk, but there wasn't enough of this as well, so here I'll go. I'm going to mix that in before adding the eggs. Oh, it won't all mix in, so now I've got to add the eggs. 2. So really soft shelled, these eggs at the moment. They've got my person at the bottom of Station Road, so I don't quite know why they're so soft. 3 eggs, the raw honey, or in my case, ordinary darned honey, and you're going to have 4 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put this over by the sink because it's got to be really washed this time. I can't risk all that gooiness again. Put that over by the sink for the washing up this. Still no news about the dishwasher. You'll be very sad for me to hear this news. No, not only no part, but no knowledge of when the part will come. So I'm, to say the least, a little distressed. Now, dried stevia leaf. I have Tesco's sweetener, which I'm guessing is what everyone's got some teaspoons wet now. I'm sure everyone's got some if you're making diabetic recipes on a fairly regular basis. So I'm going to have to use my ½ teaspoon and do it 4 times. So 2 teaspoons full, 2, 3, 4. Right, there we go. So there's that. I'm going to mix this all together. It's better with the honey and the eggs, it's a bit wetter. Now I had to get the film crew to grate the carrots because I'm sure you know the boring news of my arthritis. The arthritis of my arms is quite sore at the moment. Well, who knows if it's arthritis, but I think it is. My osteopath thinks it's something else, but I think it's arthritis. So I'm not very good at grating large amounts of things because my arm starts to drop off. So you fold into the mixture with a wooden spoon. Now for folding, I would never say use a wooden spoon because folding is normally so you don't knock any air out. But we haven't put a lot of air in this. It's not that sort of a cake, is it? If you think about a carrot cake, they're not light and fluffy, are they? This is 300 grams of carrots, which is an amazing amount, but it's what Mum says. So that's what we've done. And this is, as you know, a trial recipe. I've never made it before. I'm trying it so you don't have to. So if it doesn't work, the same goes as happened last time. This will be destroyed and you will never know this existed. So it could be that this video never sees the light of day or the light of YouTube, but we'll see. So you fold this in. Fold this in. The arm's really not liking this at all, but never mind. Okay. So when that's all folded in and your oven is hot. Now you see, if you have everything ready, it really is only a minute's, a few minutes work to make the cake. Whereas if you, it took me quite a long time to do all this and weigh it all out and measure it all out. But I think it's a really good thing because it means that when you start to cook, you've got your stall all set out and off you go. You can do it straight away. So there it is. It looks like carrot cake. It smells like carrot cake. It's like a carrot cake. It must be a carrot cake. So yeah, it's looking good so far. Who knows what it will taste like, but we'll give it a go, won't we, girls? So we're going to put half in each of my tins. Another reason for using these lines is these are loose bottom tins, and this is a fairly wet mixture, so it might have leaked out if I just lined the bottom of the tin. So these cake tin liners are great. I like anything that makes life easier, as you know. I'm a very lazy cook. Two of those. Now the cream cheese for the topping, did I say this is coming in the shopping? So this is an ideal thing for me to do. I'll do it now, make it now, and then I'll do the icing, the frosting. Sorry, not icing, we're very American today. We'll do the frosting when we've got the shopping, when I've got the ingredients for the frosting. It's actually not a huge amount, so I think these two tins are going to be absolutely fine. In fact, I've put more in there than there. So I think these tins will be fine. So we're talking 8-inch sponge tins, I think these are. The nice thing is about them is they're deep. And I was taught once, those of you who are more chemically minded than me will possibly know if this is true. Or do I mean physics? I think I mean chemistry. That the heat of the tin helps the cake to rise. It sort of rises up. So, so deep sponge tins are better than shallow ones. My old ones were shallow and were very battered and bruised. I've dropped them a few times, which on a hard tile floor is not a good idea. So they were quite bent. So I bought myself 2 new ones in the old Sainsbury's, and they're these lovely non-stick, very heavy ones. They are ever so heavy, but they're deep as well. So right, there we are. As much as I can scrape off my spatula. So you look at my lovely empty bowl. You wouldn't get that with Nigella, would you? Aren't you glad you're cooking with me? Right, my oven's nearly ready. So those are going to pop into the oven now for 20 to 25 minutes until they're cooked through. And you're going to tell if they're cooked through by the normal stick a skewer in their middle and see if it comes out clean. If it comes out clean and dry, they're done. And we take them out and cool them on a wire tray. But I'm going to put them in the oven now, put you on pause, so you really don't want to see me washing up for 25 minutes. And the oven's just come up to temperature. Perfect. So that took exactly the time it took me to chat to you and do my cooking, is how long it took the oven to heat up. So that's good. So I'm just going to pop them in the oven now, and you'll see me later when I'm making frosting. Won't that be fun? See you later. Says 20 to 25 minutes. Check them at 20. You can always leave them in for 5 minutes, but if you burn them, you burn them. Now, I promised I'd go away, but I haven't. Typical. I just wanted to have a word about vanilla essence. Like you do. I have bought regularly for some years now, Taste the Difference, Madagascar vanilla essence, thinking, oh gosh, that sounds rather good. Madagascar vanilla is the best there is, blah, blah, blah. However, when I was ordering it this week, they didn't have any. And I knew I had just about enough. So I thought, oh, I'll get it another time. But I was looking at the vanilla essences, and there's a bottle that big, much, much more expensive, which got a better rating. So I thought, oh, I'll just read some of the reviews. And what I read, which I didn't know, and forgive my ignorance, and you probably all know this, so you may well just say, silly woman, is that this has in it, as do most of them, I checked Tesco's as well, ethanol. Ethanol being alcohol. You could probably sterilize your hands with it. It's not good. So that if you leave it out, it will evaporate because it has alcohol in it. And I thought that's not really a very good idea. So I have bought, it wouldn't have done for this recipe, but I have bought vanilla sugar. I bought it online, of course, dear old Amazon. Sorry for those of you who hate Amazon. But I've got several packets. Now, on the continent, this is all they use for vanilla. My Dutch cousins all their recipes, one of which we're going to make fairly soon, says a packet of vanilla sugar. And I said, what's vanilla sugar? It's really cheap over there. It's not really cheap over here, unfortunately. But I've got two lots like this, and there's lots of packets in there on Amazon Smile library, getting the benefit of my Amazon Smile deliveries. And I just wanted to say, if you don't realise that this has got ethanol in it, like what I didn't, now you do. And I've used that, and you know, my mum used it. I've always used it. And I don't think you could get these bottles of you can get vanilla bean paste, which has little bits of vanilla in it, which would be lovely. But again, it isn't suitable for everything because you wouldn't necessarily want the bits in. So you have to be careful what you're using. But vanilla sugar is really good because it really does taste, smell and taste vanilla-y. So just a little handy hint, which you may or may not be pleased to get from me. I will definitely go away now. I'm just coming up to my timer going ping ping. Oh, hold on, I haven't got these plugged in. Right, yes, I'm just coming up to my timer going off, and there it is. So I'm going to get them out of the oven. Trot with my skewer. Absolutely perfect. When I say so myself. Oh, they look lovely. Right, right. Swap colours and show you their deliciousness. Good. Good. So, right, here we are. Let's have a look. See what you think of these. I think they look wondrous. There we are. Look at that. Lovely carrot cake. And even better. How good is that? I think they look absolutely smashing. And the skewer came out perfectly clean, so they are ready. So I'm going to put these to cool, and we're going to leap to Sainsbury's, and when we come back, I'll ice them. Very exciting. Okay, I'll see you later. Well, I'm back. Right, I'm back. Now, I've gone from being absolutely furious that Sainsbury's messed up my order and didn't include my Philadelphia that I'd ordered to do the cake with, to being very pleased with myself, because we then had to go to the Co-op with me growling all the way. But when I got to the Co-op, I found that they do say their own value soft cheese, I thought. 65p instead of £2, I think, for Philadelphia, and 135 for their own, and then 65. And I thought, I'll give it a whirl. So I'm giving it a whirl. Now, the recipe says you want 750 grams of soft cheese to do the middle and the top of the cake. I thought that was a little excessive. So I've got 400 grams, and I think that's going to be enough. I've actually bought 600 grams, but I think 400 is going to be enough. So we'll have a look. Okay, so we're going to swap cameras. I'm not quite sure why I keep getting a picture of me upside down. It's really not what you want, is it? Anyway, there's my two cakes, cool, and I have to say the house smells deliciously of carrot cake. It just smells fabulous. So here we are. I've got my soft cheese. Soft cheese, got a little bit of water on. They always do that, don't they? You tip this out. Soft cheese in there. I'm going to do two. You see, I think if you did this in a brownie tin, as they call it, then I think I wouldn't layer two brownie tins together. Another one in there. And into this, you're going to put the zest of an orange, vanilla essence, and some honey to do it, to give that additional flavour. Doesn't say how much vanilla extract. See, this is one where you could put your vanilla bean paste and have the little lumps of, not lumps, little specks of vanilla paste, vanilla in there, and it wouldn't matter. But in some things that wouldn't work. I've only got this little tiny bit of vanilla left. Oh, I'm going to put that in. That's all I've got left. I've got my orange rind here. Now, when you zest an orange, I'm sure you know this. I hate saying things that I'm sure you know, but oranges are full of oil. So zesting an orange on an ordinary grater is quite difficult. A zester would be ideal, but I don't want Mrs. Williams sighing and moaning that she hasn't got a zester. Life is coming to an end. So I will show you my zester in case you don't know. You could use a zester which looks like that and just takes the zest off in strips like that, or you can use a fine grater. But you will find that a lot of cleaning products, Lakeland especially, do oil of orange cleaning products. I don't know why an orange should clean any better than anything else, but they do them. But you will find this is quite unlike a lemon rind, which is sort of comes off cleanly off the grater. These don't, they stick to it. See, it's all, can you see it under there? Because of the oil in the orange. However, the flavour is delicious, so let's knock it, chaps. Don't knock it. Sorry, it's a lot of noise going on because Bob's putting the shopping away and putting boxes in the bin and bags in the car and being very efficient. And tonic water in the gin fridge, ready for me, hurrah, later on. Now, I haven't done all the cream cheese, but I am doing all the orange rind because this is a little orange, small oranges, which is requested from whites. A lemon, I would get this out with a pastry brush, but it's too wet to do that with an orange, so you have to scrape it off with a knife. But there's one orange. Now, I see what's different between the oh, something there. Did you see that? Oh, something there. Now this, you're supposed to put your honey in. I'm not going to put honey in it because that'll make it even more liquid. It's quite soggy. And normally you would put icing sugar in to thicken it up. Oh, I don't know what to do. This is because I've used cheap cheese. So I've learned by my mistakes, and you need to learn by my mistakes. I mean, you can learn by it, and you can buy proper cheese, but it will just cost you a lot more. But that's quite sloppy, as you can see. I'm going to put, I'm really sorry, guys. Raw honey would be probably good because it would be quite thicken it up. I think my honey might loosen it a bit because it's quite liquid, isn't it? Oh, I don't know what to do. I think I'm going to have to, because I've used cheap cheese, I think I'm going to have to use icing sugar to sort of stiffen it up a bit. I do apologise. So we're not diabetic, so it doesn't matter, so no. But you will have to use, sorry about this, decent cheese. But the film crew has passed me the icing sugar. It's very useful. Let me just give this a stir. This is the last little bit of my icing sugar. I know it's a bit lumpy, so I don't need any thick. So I'm just going to put a bit in and see if I can just thicken it up a bit. Roll off the edges of this and not work at all, which is not going to be good. Right, just try that. It's delicious, absolutely delicious. Well, I'm going to do it because I don't think I've got an option, but I don't think it's going to be ideal. So what I'm going to do is put this on a plate. Okay, one cake on a plate. There we are. Yes, I have. Sorry, Bob. Sorry, domestic going on here. And as you can see, this is really liquid, and it's just not ideal. I'm so sorry, but I'm glad I've done it wrong because, as I said before, I've done it wrong, so you don't have to. So that goes on there, and then the idea is you put another one on the top and spread it on that as well. There's loads for that, so you really don't need all that they say. I can't imagine how much. We're 750 grams. Oh, it does taste delicious. So you put that on there, and you put some more on the top. Spread it out. It's sliding everywhere. But I must say, it looks and smells absolutely wonderful. And in a second, use this as a sauce, I think. How about that? Pretty good, doesn't it? You could obviously decorate it with something character related. You could decorate it with something, but I'm going to just slice it and show you what it looks like. Oh, look. Hope it looks delicious. And there it is. Doesn't that look yummy? And what we're going to do is plop a bit of that cream on it as a sort of a sauce to make sure we use it all up. But I'm sure that if you use proper Philadelphia and weren't a cheapskate like me, you would have no problem at all. But there we are. Beautiful diabetic carrot cake. And just one moment, I will get someone who knows about these things. Bob? Bob? Come here a moment. Someone who knows about these things. Here is someone who knows about these things.
Allegedly.
Carrot cake. I want you to taste it. Try not to make a face.
It'll do.
No, seriously.
No, it's lovely.
There you go.
Lovely. It's lovely.
I hope. Really nice thing, sugar. I hope you think it's lovely too, but make sure you buy expensive cream cheese. Don't be a cheapskate.
It is lovely.
It is lovely. Good. I'm going to have a piece too. See you soon. Bye.